Hey, this is Taro Yamada from SEGAFanatic.com, and this is potentially your newest reviews contributor.
Chameleon.
And yeah, we're going to be reviewing the recent, well, not recent anymore, but PS3 exclusive Valkyria Chronicles. And we're going to go ahead and start off with storyline, which I'll leave to Kid Chameleon. And
the storyline follows the main character of Wilken, and it opens up in a small town of Brule. It's on the border between you and the soon-to-be invading Empire. And pretty much Wilken is the son of a military general. And when the Empire invades, you are...
Yeah, it's you and Alicia, who is part of the what is it?
Brule Town Defense.
Yeah, Brule Town Defense. Yeah.
Yeah. You're there for the invasion, and soon after you take up arms. First as a tank driver, and then later you get recruited and become a squad leader and a tank operator. And pretty much the game follows your military campaign through the eventual defeat of the Empire forces.
Yep, and I would say that Valkyria Chronicles is easily amongst the best games on the PS3, and it's certainly amongst the most visually impressive games this generation. But its gameplay is very unique. It's quite innovative, actually. It's a mixture of I would say third-person shooter with strategy RPG elements, and it uses a system called Blitz, which stands for Battle of Live Tactical Zones. This combination of
yeah, third-person shooter element and then the turn-based strategy RPG is quite revolutionary, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a very interesting mechanic. It creates the situation where it's a mixture of allowing for more action in the gameplay and more control over the action, but also still allowing for that strategy element to remain within the game.
Yeah, and how the interface works is you select your character, and as you move them, the enemy characters interact by shooting at you if you get too close, and you can easily be killed running past an enemy as they fire at you. And once your turn is over, you remain stationary, and once your turn ends, it's the enemy's turn, of course, and your guys take up the role of firing at enemies as they run past you.
Yep. I would say that pretty much defines gameplay. I mean, is there anything else? I mean, there's some,
well, there's 5 classes.
Well, yeah, there's 5 classes. There's 5 classes, and you've got your scouts, you've got your lancers, you've got your engineers, you've got your snipers, you've got your shock troopers.
And tanks, of course.
And your tanks. And, or tank.
Well, there's 2 later in the game.
No spoilers! I said that at the beginning of the review.
Okay. Cut that part out.
No, it's definitely one of Kid Chameleon's complaints with the title was that he felt you could pretty much beat the entire game if you wanted to with scouts, and I would say that's partially true. I found the other. I mean, if you're speedrunning, for the most part, that's true. If you're gonna just actually sit down and play the game the way it's meant to be played, all classes are pretty much useful at some point throughout the game. Particularly, I mean, I would say that scouts, though. I mean, scouts. You can go into matches without snipers, you can go into matches without lancers, and you can go into matches without engineers. But you always have to have scouts. And scouts will make up the most of your fighting force. But I mean, most of the time I end up going into matches with just scouts and shock troopers. Though I do find all classes useful.
Yeah, you can fully customize what your squad looks like. And I feel that it's a weak point that you can get away with just using scouts, because later in the game you start unlocking orders, where the orders boost the natural abilities of the soldiers.
And this is where speedrunning starts getting exploited. You become nearly invincible with these orders.
Using a few simple orders for the rest of the game, well, for the rest of that level, a few selected characters have tank-like abilities where they can sort of withstand heavy incoming fire, like tank fire, and just run past any enemy defenses and capture flags,
it's pretty bad.
Take out tanks in a few shots.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely allows for it to be exploited, and I'm not sure they intended for that. But it definitely. And the other thing is that the game also rewards you for finishing the level quicker than rather than like actually being complete and making sure you've defeated everybody on the map, which is kind of a nuisance for me because like as somebody who's kind of a completionist, I would actually prefer to go through the map and eliminate everybody rather than attempt to finish the level quickly and then leave many people still on the map undefeated. Yeah, and that's what the game doesn't encourage that play style.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if you want to fully experience the true nature of the game as it's intended to be played, you shouldn't use orders at all.
Yeah.
And you can easily get through all the levels without using orders, and it requires that you use more classes instead of just scouts.
But I mean, that's I would say we've covered gameplay there. It's we've got our minor it's got its pros and cons for sure. But in terms of graphically this game is gorgeous. It isn't 1080p, which is unfortunate, but it is 720, and it uses a very awesome sort of cell shaded engine that also creates more of a hand drawn effect than most cell shaded games. Very impressive title. Yeah, I mean, I don't know really what you can say about it. The art direction's really cool. It's got a sort of definitely got a European vibe, and it's based in an alternate universe of a continent based off of Europe.
Yeah, like World War I believe.
Yeah, it's based in 1935, I believe, is the year that it's supposed to be in. But it's definitely it's supposed to be an alternate universe, or at least an alternate history. It's definitely a gorgeous looking game, though.
Yeah, and to follow up on that, I would say that the graphics was definitely one of the strongest points.
Definitely one of the strongest points of the game. Yeah. The sound effects are great. The sound effects are good, but I mean,
I'd say the soundtrack was pretty strong.
The soundtrack was strong, but I mean, there's nothing particularly memorable. I would say walking away from it, like I mean, it was good while it was in the game, and it definitely pulls you in.
Yeah, it does.
And it does have that sort of epic feel to it. It's just that I mean, if you're coming into this game with the expectations of something along the lines of previous Sega tunes that are extremely memorable. Then you're probably going to be disappointed because it's not. I mean, it's a fantastic soundtrack, but it's not amongst Sega's best.
Yeah.
But that doesn't say much because Sega has a high quality of soundtracks, and it has high quality soundtracks in their history. But no, I mean, what would you give the game overall?
Overall, I'd rate it fairly high. I'd give it about a 9.5.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to give it probably about a 9.4. 9.4 sounds right about to me. So, SEGA Fanatic's official score is 9.5, I guess. We'll go ahead and give it a 9.5. We'll round up. All right, well, if you own a PS3 and you don't own this game, you suck.